Half a day, buenas and saludo para todo do simani kung winigi programan Marianas Agupa. Ang Sabado tayo Stefanielos para todo do Sabado ni mani mo. Gini ni oran alas 9 gegan este oran alas 11 undang kudulu na si Jesus Masi. Gini ni Gadbo na islan sa Ipan papa tinian luta dan parato siya mani luta gweno gi islan Waham spesyal na kulo para todos mani kung sa Honolulu, California, Oregon, Washington State, Arizona, Texas, Idaho, imanggagi gweno sa Florida, Brother Henry, parin Metka, Maria, dan todos si familia, sa Virginia, dan sa Washington DC lokwe, spesyal na kulo para todo do samzo gini ni Gadbo na Islas Marianas para todo do Samzo in Felicita, todo do Samzo. Half a day, buenas. Bonito na hani Afanielos, bago na dia. Julio dia 19, 2025. Después di mapanyagon Hesus Cristo. Dati siya man malefait na palabran niya imong sinner Antonelli. Ginin guija, gija, guija. Kana sa hululu isay na ginilalata. Mala data sustenihit gi trungkun fofgu para pabo na sabalo. Data na ino kuya dongkulo na agradecimiento. Isigenti siya na humuhog may programan Marianas Agupa pinini na anonymous donor. Dongkulo na judo ginin itutonyes ti maski 17 anyos na hogwi i programan Marianas Agupa i anonymous donor si Jesus Masi i Diabetes Prevention Foundation lokwe. Taber Foundation, DylanTaber.com. Wala data na liyam dyan na Sound of Waves. Sige, no? Sound of Waves, binigit programata. Alright. Ilogyan no background sound is the programata. Alright. Wala data pansige mo na. Alright. Sige, no? Background sound, gano? Alright, pues bala, data fansiga mo nagbinay sa tanay lokwi daw kululu na agradecimiento siya. Pumalo na humuhog westi, finini na time check. Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center, time check. Okay? Para tududusam dyan ni mani mga man malefa. Para in review amot minzo. Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center, time check at 9:01, gipresente. Garapan kagman o sinuinuibo na ramas iza dandan na para review mo mga malefan no. Alright.
Alas 9 gigan, estay oran alas 6 gipopoy ni. Sabalo, yinin oran alas 9 gigan, estay oran alauna gitaluan ni. Talo, ang waktu gi 233, amo 233-2668. ikumit siyantin amod zan hinemlo. Ibrabo pharmacy zan sentron maulik na hinemlo. Pronto zan listo na serbisyon amod para hinemlo mo. Agang watugi 233.
Alright, pues talo i-time check at 9:02 gipresenti garapan kagman o sinuinwebo na ramas binigi sa dandan. Okay, Bravo Pharmacy mo gaman malefa. Luki mala sa tasigya mo na este. Ensemble Stephanie Los Guaysti garapan Farmers Market. Sabalo Farmers Market. Gaya yung banda i garapan Public Market Lokwe. Ipresenti guasya man mafafata siya kiniset sa nilanso. Tatay este. Nauupan siya produkto na man maproduce winigis lata sa long kulul na saludo para todos adyo siya. I-produce ning kano, inigi uno ino na mas un round na tsotso, ipomproduce ning kano mo. Masya mono este na nasyon ginin pangwaluan muna panyutsutsuit. No, inigi ino imastat kilo sa importante este ibandan alikultura. Tapi at diskuti po este paimano na sige na open huzong ibandan agriculture production food production. Guna ba na chichinglong sa guna ba na humalong ni gobernamento sa mamatinas programa para fokusi siya tax and tafko asya pusta explica no giman mamamayla kitsogo go zamena sa tapansiga na sa mona gwini lokwe humuhugo este lokwe Ace air conditioning gaya gigizagarapan este bisita watu si Aimee sa ngani nun humong este na mensahe gini ni programan Marianas Agupa siguro zo na manayo sempre discount. Alright, pues mga malifan na panelos Ace air conditioning. Okay, pues lokwe zangin bumi ay haw papaluta mga malifan natin sa lagi Coral Garden Rota Hotel tsaka wisi kindo sa Lossery gay gi Kantun Tasi. Alright, nabala sa tatsuli klema lokwe sa maputumo geno ginin Joten Market sa department stores celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI. Shop local, shop Joten.
Today's weather is brought
Alright.
to you by
Tanong mo gano.
markets and department stores, celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI. Shop local, shop Jotan.
Alright, pasinigyan na Panyelo sa wala papansigyan mo na yun Okay, pasinigyan na Panyelos Klema, malajat talang mo si Klema mapatungin ni Joten Markets and Department Stores talo celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI. Ipresenti pa ako Panyelos umaano na nublado gaya hum utsan yung banda para ado siya manila na jigaw sa mo atan huzong sanhizong sa wala ba na putya gaot ta benaw pues inigi gagi humumutsan na Fanelos na mamamayla taluani sinya tantan gwi estigi oran alas 2 pago sa tinatijen nyo na hulu lamlam utsan inigi eno gi oran alas 2 pago taluani o sinya eno masusede sa man mo sempre no humano eno sa upusita gi para pupuinges di sempre kau tapandangsung hunggan mandangsung ita gagi gano humidity gi 87% imanglo gininhaza logo humana na logo esti ti humana ulutsan gi 15 millas gi ora usenigi klima na hinihigwi talo gini ni Joten Markets and Department Stores celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI shop, local shop Joten. Alright, pusinigay na Fanelos na mala data fansiya muna. Sumukan iprogramata Fanelos winig iprograman Marianas Agupa sa bonito haani para muna sa tigwiza za maipi. Mala data fansigi muna wini sa gualo kwe siya asunto para ta diskute. i natibonmarianas.org nagatalang mo sisti na kinabisa suggest Dr. Liz Rehebe talag mo sisti
Anunsyo, grupon diksenaryo dyan Kulturan Natibo, Marianas, Cor Armaso, Marianas, Mansen Magov Paroma anunsya na itsamoro English na diksenaryo estagay gigi online gi natibonmarianas.org. Itsetsu sigiha mo na maumen tazi estakiu senfun hazan. Todos man makumbibida para mabisita i natibonmarianas.org. Anay sinya untungo mas ginin itutuhon niya por lo menos 15 años malofan. Maski siento na tautauta man masapit por este.
Alright, po sinigi ano fanidos informasyon na mafatuginin natibonmarianas.org. Lingwaha palabra malago para ta umentadji halong gihap man mapasalista ginoy na diksenaryo sinya bay tsuli anon informasyon text magi sabay na si Dr. Liz Rehebe wag ni humalong ginin luta langa taigweno gi diksenaryo pues sino na palabra ilanga no watan za magay taigwi gi diksenaryo bay na si Dr. Liz Rehebe za umentadji no nina fatuto jam zo neno na palabra gini na eskwela agatete zumutti magi za tagifan si Dr. Liz Rehebe na alum fa neno na palabra sa taigwi gi diksenaryon sa muro. Okay, pues mala zatafan sige mo na gini sa hunggan kwa siya sunto mangay gi piso ni nading mo pago na sabalo lo antisa detafan tanaopan siya i half mangay gi piso ni nadingan kwa siya kulo tinini na Dong kululo na kulo para imaspadgon na hagaw si T. Sabana, Piara Sabana, manglo niya. Happy birthday kulo, jay na unin ay mas maulik hinimlo mo. Giturudoy mo bibento mo na, unsofo mo na, Piara. We miss you and we love you. Si Commissioner Anthony Macarana sila italokwe, Commissioner of DPS, dong kululo na birthday kulo para hago. Ininturo si familia Anthony para si Beverly Camacho Loke don kulo na si Zeus Mose dyan kulo happy birthday kulo Loling Sablan nanginumay kukaw giza America happy birthday kulo dyan ni amiguta si Dr. Robert Underwood bueno gi Island Guam kaya gina bumiyaay pumasisyaw sa birthday niya si Dr. Underwood Lodang ginumi kukaw no happy birthday kulo ginin gangs Marianas Agupa para si Joseph Wakina manglo niya lokwe si Peng happy birthday kulo para hago si Auntie Chailang Palacios lokwe at sa bebe happy birthday kulo para hago si Saina lokwe ni Naimas maulig hinimlo mo si Luta si D Tay man niya gwenong Island Guam happy birthday kulo D Say na lokin ni Naimas maulig hinimlo mo si Senator Corina Magofnia. Happy birthday kulo, Senator Magofnia. Kung sige muna no afadyo no muna zano muna ihalong tano tito ka ugwa mas libyano na nilala para itaw-taw Marianas si Zeus Mose. Premon Benjamin Manglonia Jr. Bueno, giza America, happy birthday kulo Benjamin. Para si Carlin Half Snyder Lokwe. Carlin, happy birthday kulo. Para Hogo. Huwag mampus i-cake. Alright? Si Lilian San Nicolas Lokwe. Happy birthday Parago Lilian San Nicolas. Si Sayna mas mo uninay mas mo liginim lo mo Lokwe. Alright, pusanigi, zangin gwagwe na no tihumudzong bago na sabalo sinya hindi kay makinamo gano sa tana umlat halong gani kulo o sino text magi Sa trabia kita bababay telefon para uwaha call-in. Lo teksa mo agad at na open guni programan Marianas Agupa para ado siya maniiko gin Island Guam, Hawaii, dan Lokwi, Amerika. Okay? Sinya Lokwi man na halumam so. Okay, pusis tige apa niya si Kulo za guasi asunto na importante tanafan tana open huzong. Tinini na madanda ni kampana esta talilia nagwasya esta dumiklara siya para panmalogo gi otro sakan kalanggay tinastaf lo titatungo lo ki plano kau para fan do house to house za debi o rastrea tuduloy sengso za inigi na para matutun taf sinya tayo no na plano sa gwasya taf madeklara siya. Ifinini na dumiklara siya. Finini na si Secretary of Labor, si Leila Staffler. Bisa finini na no dumanda ni kampana. Después tinatiji niya sa Dr. Galvin de Leon Guerrero para i-season i-delegate. Proses ti ultimo mo para independent team proses ti na kongreso para kazun mo na independent na grupo para gobyerno dan si gobyerno si Congressman BJ Ato para governor dan si Speaker Edmund Villagomez para lieutenant governor. Sige, tres finini na dumiklara siya. Guaha siya manggugunggong yung banda no natitatugo ngayon na pero fanhuzong siya informasyon na oficialmente no madeklara pa fanmalogo law pending certification na oficialmente candidate sa debut nazam ufan matsuli petition sa ufan likuko gi halumisengso. Después ang matuino na tempo last day of no submitting petitions and paron apasi fee paron kandidato gihap na opisina publiko sa ma-certify o kung sige na ofisyo candidate to para edso na precinct o para na position opisina publiko. Lo Stephen ini na tres nesta madanda ni kampana kulang taf-taf ini kita sasangan lo titatungo afa mas plano ni siya maniluta uno tatungo na guaha interes para masedbi hinirat publiko kasi ini tatungo na guaha interes neno na piniksigi ini na dinisea para masedbi publiko gi kwat na kapasidad ofisinan publiko kasi ini tres talili mo na no itinaf-taf niya no iminawlig niya finini iman huzum zaman matoma pa di publiko zaman masangani publiko na plano pero fan sobi mo na pero mas libyano zan pinareo na klase nilala ufan matratay publiko kitagwini na hinanaw politika zan ekonomiya na manggayget inigi iminawlig niya taf-taf waha loki alibes niya no sinya loki lang kulo na gasto para siya maniluta sa bula no man mamamayla siya birthday no bula cumpleaños bula no nobena lisazo na tafko na sempre loki man mamaysin publiko pudi baba ekonomiya man mamaysin sempre adjudo sempre ta expecta loki na gwa siya adjudo para siya sa no taf-taf sa inigi i-downside wini no kau paragwa fundraising sempre nigi loki para kinatsu mo na si siya man iluta na sogo mo na na karera maski un anyo zan falan 5 meses na karera mo na hasta que un fatto gichinya gi home base sinyaha no todo do ibetsa manhuzong gini ibetsa san mena dan ibetsa san tati ini no downside bini dangin tafta lo sinin badgo ini i masuseside za talili mo na siya na stagwaha siya na madamda ni kampana siyempre no talili mo na hati siya lokwe no malangnos isablin niya sa gwaha di siya man asabli ihalatsa sa manapansiglan ini no tatunga ino siya sa waji out of gas ni timadto gi first base out of gas esta pusiste afanielos no i masusesidi gi bandang politika lo todo tananay daw kudulo na resimento pud sinentin i paraman ajuda gi publiko. Okay, pues todo din no ni manggay bueno. I otro parugay gini si Senator Manny Castro. Pago gi oras alas 10 para tafanadingan po din si Iguaha pitsisigi legislative amendment initiative para guatin nilay ka gi composition no ginin ituton niya tres na representante senador gininduta tinian dyan Saipan no tres ginin todo si isla dyan 20 na no representante siya usguay no na pinitsigi i Paraguay legislative initiative sa simpita panadingan po din no half kumikiling niya giman mamamala siya sa giman mamamala siya na tempo zangin umunsong yan sa mapasa sa matulay kay constitution pus yun na alas 10 man kumbit set si Senator Manny Castro okay i-otro gini siya manhuhuzong siya informasyon sa jawa na talang no sisti Pudista sige mo na man adingan sampapa na guma pud i budget wa siya pinaisin pud parofan ma noy siya fondo ispitat i departamento i DONR office the Department of CNCA sa uno informasyon importante na tududwa mo nisisita sa lapis pud igwasya no maribasya man mafat tumagi ginin gratis Amerika sa no importante na umaatan tay mano para puta talo fondo na idididia umahalong sa trabiati ti kumalalanting gidyo na kapasidad ekonomiyata itaygwihi maagang pre-pandemic anay mauling ekonomiya bula siya sa lapi man mafatto sa taza tinilay ka ginini federal matulay ka pa og na sistema nuevo presidenteta sa no guaha siya man huhuzong sa lapi lo guazo na klasin do reglamento developi un haday half gasto mo muna man maribaba papa siya man mananay siya state territories and insular area na sagi na para naalala may saho ti para to di tempo para depende o di federales pos tumutunog papa siya ifinaisin okay tumutunog papa siya ifinaisin ginin o sino kurentin sa lapi mo giginin di federal. Tapos ini importante no na para tatungo sa uno siya na manhuhuzong gi pisong kongreso man mapafaisin siya departamento kau nahong kwanto humahalom gini ni federal jan kwanto gini di gobernamento Marianas. Uno po ejemplo bandang food stamp. No maanok na ti para taygwi na kantidad ay mafatumagi gihalat sa siya man mariba sa half planon niya siya maniluta kung kau ato siya man man receive benepisyo di food stamp kau magahit naman ma-receive. Kau man manaliligaw sa itso niya siya. Ini siya kwestiyon no na ipatti no kau magahit na no matutsi niya yung nisisita no sa gwaha di siya manahalom informasyon nagwa ti mag-ifnisita no i-food stamp law po igwahay no na programa hunggan law i-alibes niya no sangin siya matsutso inigi-ilokwi uno no na reglamento gini federal na debut un fatsutso sangin ti inuti to o ti malong ho debut un fatsutso zon aligo nila alamo ti paron di pependiwa gini sa gwaha tatungo siya gini na man-retire ta gi food stamp ini tatungo matto sinya bueno manlitirawa di bandan food stamp us ini gi iutro lo gwaha lokri no ilipino niya end of the tunnel light at the end of the tunnel nagwa esta no umuzong informasyon na esta para matutun talo ji ilipino niya sinya humalum tauto ginin China EVS start ventilasyon si programa na isinya manhalom man ma-pre-screen ibisita mo na isinya manhalom siya ginin China ginin ato siya na nasyon afanyelos di man kumihit tad kumo China o sinya no manholong gi man mamamayla siya esta sumuway to siya na trumpison imanapan para bula siya man manajuda uno si delegate Kimberly King Hines na siga mo na no patiki mo na datana nesta gumawa no na no reglamento talo isinya manholong talo siya. Alright, po sinige sinya nina guhaji ekonomiya za nina gua mas tsotso wini bulat tau siyempre man bisisita gi tour site nungan ta komprendya na gonna be na man bisatentos siya na tourist iginin China sa guhaji man tola ha man meme ha agi kantun tasi siya no guhaji masinika ikan yan fino halong tano kantun tasi za ini siya no ti bonito no siya gininesti siya na tourist loke basta comprende sa gua experience yata no siya alright po sa i-outro gini esti asuntun liberation zawen no na belang no sa huzong dididi nahunggan debitatan istoryata zatana dinansi ihaf masusedi gini gi istoryata gi tempon anay man sa panisit sa Japanese government tutunta anay matransferya ginin aliman za man matumagit sa Japanese government man eskwelay man nata i tempon Hapones man matsotso siya no gi business sa panis na tempo pos man sa panisit na tempo ano mo nung tempong gera no man mapega muna sa ni gera man mapega siya manotaw ta paramungan o fan hiridaw sa bulas siya bako ng manlalaylay balas siya sa man mapega gi kam susupi pos ini gi lo ahit ti man mapreso i manotaw ta debita na dinansi no jagi mamamayla na tempo no ta celebra i July 4th Independence Day no kalantigif din ang CZ ta celebra na no man liberation so ahit ti man maprepresyo man sa panisit na tempo man taymano gi antisa di anin bunodsan no tempo sa panis man mapigay gi under United Nation ta celebra United Nation flag okay kwa hasu ji niya ikantan United Nation 24 di abril isolemli na haani inaso no October 24th, nakantang United Nations. Kung sige na humolong ni Amerikano, kung pagol man Amerikano ito ako. Okay, lo, un tempo man sa panisip. Kung dili ta celebra i-liberation, ay July 4th, i-liberation day sa ti man ma-preso, imanay nata. Man mapiga, yung lugar, gisa kayam susupi po para bunga ng panhiri daw, langin man sige man loud sa giurita. Kung sinigi idinansi na istorya, seka man historian gini dyan fan sinangoni neno, tapi man sinangoni mas, nati man prisionero samuro belo na tempo, okay na man mati Amerikano sa man liberate, okay terus man saga yung banda sa mga no fan hiridaw, alright, basta ki man ma-clear todo, ini debita na dinansi na historia. Sa debita celebra para muna, imamamayla na July 4th, debi July 4th, Independence Day. No, kasusuda isti muna, mga natapraktika na inilatsi, sa gingwasya ni Latsi, ihalatsa, sa tatubo, mala sa correct. Sa para muna, udinansi muna. Alright, ini i-otro, gwasya, kasasangan winigi programata, por isti importante isti para produsi ng kanomo, dyan para tanalala, promote di bandan alikultura, na produsi ng kanuotag ini. Law libes niya no sa gingwaha tsitsinglong siya. Uno esti siya igwa siya tinilayka gi alegramento. Man estaba man nanahalo ni manautauta no chicks, puro siya pujitos. Ja tagwini na kantida. Pago madoblan 4 fananista kada pujitos para na posi. Pues lugar di para ta promote esti siya man mamumuksay no para kinanota poetry para ta promote esta pago tatsatsaba jata na dispapasyo sa manggayigigwi na movimento i-gobernamento ta iparofoksi mismo manautaw niya. Daungan talilya tasangan gimapos na simona kada agency lamon niya sige si man charge ispitat money siya man charge gi bandan appointment siya sa atsutsuli loki pagtigwi para apasi medical referral sa tinawang gini ni gobernamento ta ifinasesin niya. Kus gidididi na nagwinaha sige mo na tapat tintiyaw siya sa timananaw. Kus kada agency liligaw mo na po foxy mismo manotaw ta. Siya man ma-introduce si tax para tanto man mamama na taw-taw ta para ta foxy mo ni siya. Kasi nigi ililiko na kalan dididi no titadadan si mo na irakata gini. Mala sa ta promote sa lugar ta promote ibandan alikultura sa tana suwes siya trumpison. Siya man ma-introduce pero para ma riba papa ihanom para adso siya ibandan mamumuksay gaga dyan man mananano para tanalala alikultura. Kasi yung bandan kanay sige mo na hatsogi para promote i-production di otro banda sige mo na ta foxy manotaw tapos yung kanay tiyatungo afay otro kanay bedada niya ini na manggaygit na elektrisidad pues debyo madansis din na rakata mo na sa ditagwini na karera panelos ilugar di tanalala para tana maulik ekonomiya ta gibanda na likultura za tana fan sufficiente ningkano imanotaw ta za mo man ta dependihit gi import tana minimize tariba pa importation za ta noy oportunidad esti siya man mamumuksay no mananaadong siya no simidjan manok siya poultry na po nalala hindi para ta na dublin 4 sa no para ta focusing siya sa para ta manuli revenue no inusoko na siya tidinansi na klase ni naso lo pwede umatan sa ado siya manoy responsibilidad umaagon-atan sa din siya na suwe na suwa amawni siya. Okay? Sige, otro muli. Puri oras na sigya muna. Nagasa gwa gini ultimo kumahulo afanielos i asuntun manasangguma gi 1994 34 per 34 dollars per square foot ang pufanat sa guma gi 1994 pago $180 paron fanat sa guma per square foot gwinigi islang saipan duta dan tinian siya mas kuwakuan sa taon sa no mamatitinas block o sino matsolo sa paron import logi presente pa ako saipan estaba $34 per square foot po panas sa guma gi 1994 pago $180 pues panas sa 2 bedroom gi 1994 lo barato lo kumaulo pago sa pista kam na 100,000 i 2 bedroom. Alright, semi-concrete tumo concrete ada na 150,000 eno balinya. Alright, kasi nige kumahulo gi batski 2.7% i inflation di presente pago sa umano keno na maseno ginin Amerika mafatto mo gino na numero sa puro siya contractors gini puro siya FEMA contractors sa mafufuksi mo ni siya FEMA jadi na ginin eno siya na contractors humatsolo i presyo material siya semento iparon fanat sa guma ginigi Islas Marianas 2.7% mapatuloy no mga ginin i Bureau of Labor Statistics na inflation patilo ko ino ginin i tariff kaya ganda lang ino ginin i tariff na man hahalom siya i material siya ginin utrutano. Okay, pues inigi i ultimo ginin sa mela afanielos sa guagini ng gafan sa guagini humalom loki informasyon okay nagafan guagini ginin i Grace Christian Academy informasyon guagini fun fair para masusedi gi Agosto dia 2 Saturday esti otro semana otro niya semana esti ginin oran alas 10 hasta oran alas 6 gi Garapan Central Park Roundhouse esti day of fun para an adventure para i familia siya mapatumag esti ginin ni Grace Christian Academy. Thank you Grace for that information sa pwede no okay, alright po sinigi alright po sinigi afanielos bala sa tala halom si Guela Agateti sa sta utunga no nagwalo ki gini video para ta play si Luta no ay atsuli ginin Luta. Okay, buenas Guela Agateti konsigi mo na.
Glenn, buenas. No, kung cantamos nel mo 24 gi Abril. Glenn, may Korea di sa kulan mampuso patun. Oktubre. Ikantanya gini taiguini 24 gi
Oktubre.
Na ani para United Nation. Taigueno, Glenn. Buenos días para todos samjo ne mane kung gwini gi Marianas Agupa conversación pinutsa moro yini sangkatan siya na islas sa ipan tinian luta en principalmente gadbo na islang Guahan sang kung todo lo pe hamjo pe na huzong Estados Unidos dan masaya amano na lugar ni man tumatiki na programa after day para todos samjo na bonito sábado winigi jaluta. Pinene na gobyerno as Luliang Guerrero dan tidak ihenera publiko para imina 81 na Guam Liberation Day Parade dan fireworks na celebration Lunes, Julio 21 otro semana ni para uta honra 81 años na manmalibitad san manmesmuan hit gwinigi manye na gatbo na islata izaguahan i-parade para matutuhon gi Marine Corps Drive na talan Katutuhong wi i-parade ginin hadlok esta i-grandstand gimenan isengsung Chamorro. Itaw-taw siya mag-ega ni floats siya ginin diferentes song dan organisasyon, grupo manmatsa dan espesyal na tribute man ma-oonra iman sauno manggera dan mana libre i-islang gumahan. Isigel ko aktibidad ni man masinyala. Kunenena, itsala tamat. Liberation 5K na taika para matutundi orang alas 6 tapat diegan. Liberation 1 Mile na taika matutundi orang alas 7:21 tatalo diegan. Matutuhon ni parade di orang alas 8 diegan. Para hinitong celebration, liberation firework show ini ni Guam Visitors Bureau ni para fugera ipuengi mambunutin siya na donggat diary matutuhon di orang alas 21 ipuengi. Tres lugar ni para mga grupo iguafisia. Isa kagatnya treatment plan. 15 minutos aja na show. Before the pukan, 5 minutos na show. Paseo Point, the Statue of Liberty Hotel, 5 minutos na show. Panogit tomorrow, itemampago na sakan Guam Liberation Day. Tak kilo, sustansyanya istina problema, palabra, tutuhon di Guam, Antons Tinigi Dr. Ramon Manalisay Saplan, tatigi mid 1919. Reflecta iman malofan dan iman mamamayla siya na tempo binigil linalata gwinigi slata. O mapaksai dan imina 25 na cumpleaños ni Organic Act of Guam ni mafirma kumud lai di Agosto dia 1, 1950. I Organic Act munafan sudidano na Amerika itaw-tawguahan. Esti tutuhon sa libre demokrasiya para uta aji politikang gobernamento ta sigun iminalago majuriya itaw-taw siya. Segundo, Departamento Hinemblo Público dan Serviço Social ang notifica todo tao-tao principalmente para este mamamayla na Lunes, Hulyo dia 21 durante ang celebration y Liberation Day. Na panaktibo hamzo todos sa bulat tao-tao. Nagwaka hinadahi gihalong gibandan hinemblo medyo principalmente para pamaguon ni Muzo. Kumikilulukha i-flu, COVID-19, dan respiratory virus. Doktat mi estisya na klaseng bakterya, kulolonya, dyan gibulan na tao-tao, na siguro na manmatsek hamzo gi medkun Muzo. Lokwi, sempri na siguro na timambaway ng kano may iiklema sa inmina panmalawmo. Nga tres, Guam Economic Development Authority, dyan Departamento Hinemblo Publiko, dyan Serviço Social, Division Hinemblo Pamagon, Mangof para na panmanuo todo interesado por 2025 Family Preservation and Reunification Center Grant Program. Este na programa sa pupunta iman maneha o pera sa purihin i Family Preservation and Unification Center natin idiha o sino ipuingin na programa para pamaguon dyan pamilya ni manman bisibisyo ginin i Departamentong Hinemlo Publiko dyan Servisyon Sosyal. Kululo niya para divisyon Hinemlo pamaguon. Este na grant para una panmetgot sa po dyan sa i familia durante problema sinatsaga para usano dyan libyano i momentum linala niya. Este na programa adjujuda in non-profit dan Rusia iman yenyedbi tauto y aplicante sinya mana ikulo esta 400 bit put para una cumplido facilidad material supplies cosas dan servicio pamagulo. Todo aplicante sempre maina sigun emeritus i aplikasyon ni kaimano para un pera i servicio. Esti sinya ma-aplika matutupon ginin Julio 14 sa ultimo di Agosto dia 1 di oran alas 5 di. Para más información, visita Buatu i opisina ni Guam Economic Development Authority Gaigi GITC Building Mina 5 Bibenda Hulo di oran alas 8 gita está ahí alas 4 gita lori Tunis está bedo para umanapan manunungo todo pamilya dan manatmo na hingin matay si Ricardo Lonya Orsinas kauto luta tumasagan sa ni pamagonya gwinigi sa kuahan. Ultimo despedida gwinigi sa kuahan para guapo di San Agustin Funeral Home di Matis Julio 22. Ilisado di oran alas 10 final viewing gininyalan oran alas 10:30 istay oran alas 11:30 gitawani. Pues para dangkulo na agradecimiento para todo natuzudjan ajudo durante Cristina ni Ampiniti i familia. Ifinatun i apon i difunto guatuluta sempre umat manuno lokpe ginenluta wah siya na video usme ginikap niya sa is ocasiano listeners.
Okay. Natanong i-state din na.
Gagizo pago gini gihalom ibat ko ni US Coast Guard naman mambisita magigiza luta Oliver Henry na botin Coast Guard man matumagi luta jano mga fans be faisin si Captain Serrato. No, Captain, good afternoon and welcome to Rhoda.
Good afternoon and have
Yes, half a day. Thank you, half a day. Briefly, first of all, I want to tell you that I'm very happy to see you on this island. I feel more safe whenever I see military outlet out here. But can you just briefly let us know, or our viewers, listeners, as to your mission coming out to Rhoda today?
Yes. So my name's Lieutenant Ray Serrato. I'm the commanding officer of Coast Guard Cutter Oliver right now. We're one of 3 fast response cutters based out of Guam, and currently we're up here in Rhoda, CNMI, delivering FEMA supplies, MRE specifically. About an hour ago, we dropped off nearly 5,000 pounds of these supplies to the people of Rota. And part of our bigger mission out here is just outreach, ports, waters, and coastal security, and just broader law enforcement mission out here with search and rescue. Currently, we're in Rota today. We're spending the night here, and we plan on visits in both Saipan, Tinian, as well as visits to our friends in the Northern Islands, up in Pagan, Agrigan, and Alamagan.
So is this your first time to be in Rota?
This is our second time in Rota. We were here about a month ago. We weren't sure originally if the FRC could fit in here, fast response cutter, and the last time we did it, we checked it out, we saw we could fit, and now that we know that we can, we love coming back here. This is our second trip, and we hope there's many more in the future.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, I used to be, I'm a retired administrator for Northern Marianas College, and I used to get help from the U.S. Galveston Island and Qatar. Oftentimes, I requested their assistance in trainings for our local people, very important trainings like the ASVAB training and the boating safety and the CPR. Would it by any chance in the future you'll be able to provide that kind of services to the people here on Rota?
Yes, both our team here on the cutter and then our team based out of Guam have a lot of subject matter expertise in boating safety, general military recruiting, so ASVAB help, getting ready for boot camp, Coast Guard Academy, whichever thing you're looking for that way, and just overall recreational safety. We'd be more than happy to contribute out here.
Excellent. Well, I just want you to know that I can be your 220 voltage link to that kind of program, and we can do something for the people here, more especially our young generations that need help. So again, I hope you and your crew enjoy this very short stay, and I'm already getting seasick here, but it's okay. I want to thank you, and I welcome you very much to continue in the near future. And you have my card. Let's together collaborate, and we can do something. You can extend community outreach out here on the island.
Yes. We appreciate the visit and the hospitality too, so thank you so much for having us on this beautiful island. I look forward to opportunities to work together in the future.
Okay, that is a wonderful thing, and we just established a connection here. So thank you too, and God bless you, and have a safe trip at all times.
Thank you. God
Thank
bless
you. Thank you.
All right. Wala agatete. Dyan is the outro na video na nalagno si Wala agatete, okay?
Oh, sa STG Fire Emergency Management System, jay Chief of Fire si Ron Ogod Rumadray ba? Senyor Ron, gininmano how? Ginini Seaport? Afa kinagagam mo? Oh, MRE para fan mapati tau-tau? Hunggan? Okay, pues pago na hanin matu Coast Guard. Luta? Hunggan? Oh, pues bonito no? Sa man manajujuda, dyan loki anjo man manajujuda, man unload. Jagayan mo na para fan manay hujung publiko na este? Oh, tenis ki major luta no, miskejo. Okay, pues si Jesus mase na tana magad na manmatto siya MRE para no ipublikon luta. Sa bonito estige naman manajujuda imilitat. Jandoam jo pesadayam jo no si Jesus mase naman brabon mijo. Okay, adayam jo. Adios. Thank you Ron. Thank you.
Alright, bonito magayad. No, pos parangayan na po fan mapatiw zong publiko no agatete.
Nika humadingan jo jan acting mayor winigizaluta what the mayor's office po facing question kafa actually para masusedi ne jo na klasin supplies sigunggi sa guidza ileleng niya na gipago na tempo kalan ti golf makat itinasagan itaw-taw pues para umaatan jazanggin hafamas na ira gimamamayla na tiempo está listo ajudo kay gigwini gizaluta za listo manakujung ya ajudo para atu siya imangof sasagan na tauto pues gi kinemprende ko loke kalan maulig ano na ideo bunga na para ta no elefino niya gosahin mo ni sinya po di guahan no isota resources debit tatu man itempon na ilas elefinomo itempon na ilas pues o sino edi mangof sasaga na familia o kuka po hatogi po fanhono watu gimazot za u diskuti mas sinasagan niya sa maulig esti majolutan no kung todo itaw-taw gi kada uno no problemanya. No, pues este hagle, Jesus maase para todo Sanjo. Sa Hamjo bueno gizaguam, go sa Hamjo gi lunes sa no anin agradecimiento, celebration, wafaday famagun na fansinigad gi challenge hitsa Hamjo gano papa tumo mano ne para park Hamjo. Sa enigi siya didi problema. Viva Guam Liberation Day para todos ang na papa. Esta Glenn, si Jesus Mase.
Okay, bonito na para ma-proviniji ang matoy tempon escases para magayad mo malatsat saya yung biyay gratis ni man manoy tong tag no MREs. Alright, si Jesus Mase talo wala gatete pwede na bonito. Ito misyon may humahalong at muna itong luta okay, pues yung tsaga ko gumay kasampi bisitata si Senator Manny Castro at fanadingan wag bini un asunto jawa mentras taladangga no i-telefon para pago na sabalo tahowa no jay phone calls sa kita babay telefon lo i numero i670-287-4536 naging tababay telefon inigi na numero na siya sumaunaw haw binigit programata o sino unde ka na makinamo ganogi Marianas Agupa chat nagsinya ta di have question mo jangin monazan izot ibisitata. Alright, lawag ini un asunto jawa na talang no suzong pud esti kau un recibi memorandum kau waha memo un recibi kau waha tinay mo memo un recibi gini na simona. Alright, jangin taza pos esti memorandum na umuzong esti na masya waha dokumento mo naging gayyaw gini wataw-taw mo nagwat para dokumento niya ilihibli pero gaygi gini gislata sa undocumented usugwaha memo muzong zan paraadso siya lokwe i-memo ililing niya paraadso igwaha dokumento niya green card nito ka gayzo passport lo gwaha lay doon mo gihalatsa no ginin taw hidzo nga tapos mato gini unsuli green card mano iyo na pasapot temo sa estahaw Amerikano US citizen lo gwaha pidamo sinyaha i-memorandum ililig niya sinyaha ma-revoke na dokumento mo sa mabiraw tate tanong ginin China ho ginin Apono ginin Korea ho gamato magi sa timonya no guaha dokumento mo sa zangin guaha bidamo no naibaba no sinyaha matulay ka mana para i dokumento mo sa mafadzon no mabiraw tati mabiro kati lugan mo lo ya libis niya no jaw loki na bay may lang no sa para todos adto siya umaatan na sigun gi presidente nuevo na presidente si Trump lilig niya na tagwini siya hana jamo na siya man apaka di man pareho kulota lo walo ki bueno no informasyon debyo man klaro na ang Amerikano ni nagwaha Amerika pud adto siya man matu na immigrants ginin pumalo na nasyon siya sige muna agwaha United States of America. Kung sinigi i-make up United States from different nation, different immigrants. Lo hatan pa ako na idso manapaka idso para guiza hatan man zamo na nagi sidbisyo gihaf alalang no si nuevo na presidente talo inigi no debut matan na it's made up of immigrants. United States of America is made up of immigrants. Sige, pagutatan Amerika. Lo, sinimbago bala. Sa gwahan no bisitata, tayo mana expika gi tutuni programata na gwaha no kumukuna na fuzong no legislative initiative sa importante na tana zamuna nesti sa ginin itutunta, ginin istoryata. No, tansa ni mapasa siya para no para matulay ka
representante sa controversial
no ipunto minutes na ba na manuwam zo na it takes a brave person para uatan sigun kilalamting gobernamento ta no wanan niya no bikino Amerikano para ugay no niya bravery from so west siya no lakasin no aksyon ni ramas sa natura sa importante din na highlight sa taasan half i-author no kumubila si Senator Manny Castro introduces
siya na gaya yung grass balls.
Okay na yung grass balls boleh no sa tagkikay di sa moro na ito na gaya yung grass balls kaasan i-quantity mini na sustansya niya mono namang gaya panirus na banda ni ekonomiya malasa na exclusives isyak na yung readings sila mahulog dito sila sinunod she is in the first year 6 months in office. Senator Manny Castro, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Glenn. Good morning, Marianas.
Alright, na switch back and forth to English tomorrow, but more comfortable in English, that's fine. No, I was training in Chicago. Welcome to the program. Tell our listeners, our native listeners, tomorrow here, Carolina, and Rota, elsewhere, listening and watching closely the introduction by yourself, the legislative initiative, right? That's what it is. Looking for that to explain that to us and how would that assist the government.
This tatun posible showcase the could see feedback.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Stephen?
Check.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's like more for the liberation. Si Nanobia, Tinansay, Rosa Mundo Costro. Panantrenta on she was in her late and the tumutunig here. Sa magawin gusto'y taw-taw press. Paskulan din natin siya, it's Liberation Day. Sa ti pareho, yung question second and pinuta. Ula, mas sa ngawian. Kulabato niya, PSD, kulit sosyal, famas ni militar. Ilang niya, motori, tautulog ka, ni militar. Kung out of, and then umesay, di kataon ng sinuwi, ma-confiscate ko rin ng kanok, iguiyan dyan, ofisyan pa rin yung militar. Pues magod preso dito ko press. Dati pareho tempon apon ani tempon business tempon militar. Sa whole different experience.
Okay.
Si tataw biyo boro okay gay di merchant marine. He's an engineer. Japanese.
Masusunod. Okay. Alright. Bonito, no? Guasya itong mo press. Okay. No, apay manatan estilo ito na guahas manotan no manmaguf. Kasi supplies. Yo. Speak ka na sa bonito mo ibabaw. Ano sa sa'yo mo should have on the radio lots of fine. Ito na ako at least bravery na. Go ahead.
Sa ST sabi Filipino English sa the whole concept of the bill is if we're gonna especially with our Senate leadership right now, Senate President has been really we're all aligned. Despite us being in different parties, for the most part, we're aligned in the vision and the economy is not doing so well. So are we going to wait for it to go down further, or are we going to adjust our policies to reflect the challenges of the And sometimes it's not just about costs, because even if we reduce the members of the legislature, we're talking about $2 million, which it's not a lot compared to the deficit of other departments. Low. The cost here that's alarming is the missed opportunity due to being risk averse, or when decisions are being held up in committee. Sometimes there's some that take years, and some of these bills can really impact the economy, or they can impact the livelihood of. But if we're gonna clean up government and right size the government, we have to practice what we preach and start from our own branch before we go into another branch.
Okay. Just put it down. Extra. Go ahead. So continue.
So, I saw this in my time in the house. It's only one term, but 2 years is long enough to see, where things can be improved. And like I said earlier, this is not a new thing. There were other senators and legislators that tried to do this before. Both in the House and Senate. Congresswoman Tina Sablan was successful, but it kind of had the opposite effect. So we learned from that, how to make this successful. We've been and kind of looking to history. We had less legislators, but we saw more productivity, more infrastructure being built. Things not getting bogged down. There's pros and cons, but we've had the same design for several years, and you know what? This is not a bill. It's not a bill that we're gonna vote on. It's a legislative initiative that the people will vote on. So I think it's just giving the people the option to decide which route they want, and that's our job as legislators to provide that.
Okay, so that's in a nutshell, no?
In a nutshell.
Basically. Question on the, I know that research, what do you call this? The composition.
Yes.
Have you found out any information like slogans? Is there any
So there's
if we have to reduce? Is there anything that will hamper this?
so right now, and I think that's why the Senate President said, and it was a positive statement. In Senate President was aware that I was going to introduce this initiative. We talked about it, but he also too, in our conversation, recognized some of the challenges the way it is right now. But just having this dialogue with the community can allow us to further tweak the bill, refine it to make sure that it aligns as much as possible with the needs of today. And there's two sides of this. One, you have to design it so that the people, it's what the people want as much as possible, as much as we know. But two, the downside of a legislative initiative is you have to design it so all the members say as much as possible. That's the difference between legislative and popular. And to be honest, I'm like popular route, meaning just give the legislature, just go out and reach out to the people and get all the signatures and put it.
The threshold is what, 3/4 to pass this? So only know what about if this is based on current
And it's to be honest, there was also because we had two drafts. The first draft was the unicameral, but we found out for the new council, right? It's gonna take more process because it's gonna also touch into the covenant agreement, which is gonna require congressional, both sides, CMI and U.S. Congress have to agree. That's why we're doing the unicameral. And also, our people are using camera. Actually, I have a little more faith in a bicameral system personally because there's an extra layer of analysis. And so the initiative right now stands, it talks about the tiebreaker because we're reducing it, like we're making it really slim, like less numbers. So there was in the title that was an error. There's so the the legal was able to correct that. The current bill initiative that's been refiled and introduced, it's mainly focused on reducing the members of the Senate and the House. So
how many
in the House, the current initiative is down to 7,
okay
20 to 7. In the Senate, it's around 9 to 6. So, as it goes to committee, we already have plans to make adjustments based on a lot of feedback also.
and the good news is what you just said, no? It opens discussion and dialogue community, and this is one of the reasons why we want you to come in and explain it in layman's terms so that the people, an average person can understand. Maybe
So just to bring it down to like right now, the biggest issue is our economy.
And that's gonna tie to the economy.
Into the economy. Why? Because there's a lot of policies and barriers to economic growth. Over the years, we keep amending certain provisions of our laws, and then it ends up being really different from what the original bill was. So right now, it's a good thing. The information that's coming out with the EBS staff you mentioned earlier. At the same time, we shouldn't continue to just rely on one source of revenue. We really need to have to diversify our economy so that whatever hits COVID or other kind of natural disasters are really strong. Right? So right now, we have investors on island. And I met with other senators. And these are not middleman kind of investors. These are the
With money.
with billions, $1 billion industry with plants in California and Asia. You know, like we've always been dealing with a lot of like Asia, and China mostly. So our economy is really dependent on that country, which is so dangerous dealing with the tariff situation. So we have to make sure we balance it. So when a $200 permitting process or $1,000 permitting process is in the way of $4 billion industry, we have to reevaluate that.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to our cash flow and the economy. Like, if we don't have this, like, the revenue we need to sustain our quality of life that our founding fathers designed, we're gonna keep going back and forth.
Yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned. So tying it in with our resources, knowing that we didn't rebound that we wanted. So how much? Let's put it as savings, because it gets fast. The people agree to that, and, ratify it. How much do we save by not having one senator from each island and reducing down to the representatives? How much savings if we see for their budget and office operation?
So in the bill, it explains all of that. But let me just pull it out and give an example. Which, like I said earlier, it's not like a big, enormous savings. The main goal behind this initiative is more about the process of legislation. Because when you have
passing bills,
you have too many people in any of that, just like a team. Usually you have a group, and then once everything is done, it's longer. But look at the first, second, third legislature. We didn't have this many people, right? We had slightly less. But to this day, we're still riding on the infrastructure of those leaders. Our power plant is still the same power plant.
But just for the numbers, so that our listeners will see that
30
there's a savings involved, and that savings is translated into investing into the medical referral or whatever. So what is the number that your office came up with?
Let me just add some. It's just one legislator, no?
The effort is good because you're mentioning about the processes. It takes longer to pass a bill because it's too large or bigger in comparison in Guam, no?
Yeah.
Look at Guam. Only Camaro, less number of senators, and they still operating, passing laws with how many? 350,000 population.
So this is the smaller number, but in the house, it's about 1.2 million in savings.
Per year.
Yes.
So we're talking about just 5 million in one term. One term. The Senate, almost the same.
About the same, but the Senate's for 4 years. So, but that's a small number. The bill has
Other
other factors.
say 5 million both, you know. That 5 million in terms of because we're cutting costs, like, where can that be as the member really look at where can that be? What's gonna be from the governor's office, you know? The resources is realized
It's gonna be a
from the governor's office providing allocation.
appropriation requests. I mean, I think where our government needs to start focusing on is building the assets,
Investment, like,
investing in assets that will pay for the liabilities.
yes.
You know,
And that's a good direction.
energy. So let's use right now. There's also renewable, like solar investors here, on island. And that boat is going to sail pretty soon if we interact together. And I know that
They're ready to go.
the same investors that built 2 solar farms in American Samoa have been here multiple times. These are real investors. They've built baseball fields in the United States. They're not just an energy company. They're
Okay. Okay, so we had an opportunity to talk with Sherman, the Congressman Aulahan, and mentioned about the urgency of that. Hopefully that would go. We know that utility is part of the equation in terms of reviving our economy forward. Right? On the other hand, and I'm glad that we are on the right track. Your compass is heading in the right direction to stimulate this economy forward, and the other industry, I just want to bounce it off of you, is the agriculture industry.
Yeah.
You know, very important. Just recently, we've been trying to promote production because we are importing more than 90%. Actually, that's what's in the paper, but we updated that, it's 90% imported. So, and to move the agriculture industry forward, we need to do some things like what you guys are, I think, willing to do is to reduce the water rates or to fix that provision for the farmers and the producers, right? That's good. I think we, in my view, we call this to go away with charging because until we reach certain level, the idea is to, in order for our agricultural industry to flourish, we need to provide.
So can I add to this?
Yes.
So when I said we need to focus on building assets rather than liabilities. For your example, case of farmers. Instead of paying CUC for the water, we're giving a reduced rate, providing a grant to the farmers to drill if there's water down in their property. So they have water. And it's maybe even better water.
Those are the assets.
That's you know, the whole concept of things you have to really look like, do we want to centralize our system or do we want to decentralize? And so, for example, like if our cash flow is low, maybe we need to have smaller power plants closer to the village. So we don't have to spend so much on transformers and to boost it all the way from Lower East to CK or Agman. We learned from the two typhoons that hit us. When the typhoons hit, the priorities were mainland, the hospital, the airport, and the villages, were last. But if you have a kind of decentralized system, backup system, redundancy, you have a plant or even a solar microgrid closer to the villages, you're pretty much safe.
Yeah.
So if you have an whatever, like you don't have to worry too much. You know that the most vulnerable population is safe.
Yeah.
Back to the farming and the imports, right? Just not just vegetables, but we're importing so much meat before. But at the same time, we do. I'm glad there's like a private slaughterhouse that's operating to reduce that cost. But also the departments. I shared this in another show. There was I asked one of I walked in and met with a customs person, and this person kind of like told me, and the imports are low, and the way that person kind of explained it, it's low, meaning it's bad. But I was like, actually, for that's a good thing. It means we're not. It's better to have less imports in an economy. Right? Your GDP is import and export. So if you're importing less, that means you're buying more or growing more, right? And but in the case of customs or any of some government agencies, it's not good for them. The revolving account or their is less.
Yes.
We shouldn't be thinking about the revolving account. We should be thinking about the GDP, the bigger picture.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because somehow one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Right? I mentioned that earlier about the importing of the chicks.
Yeah.
Before it was $15. Now I think it's almost quadruple.
So
Because they're looking at the revenue that the agency. Right? So the approach, I think it needs to be reviewed. I don't want to say that it's wrong. I'm saying that it's not good for the industry.
look at it, right? When they had Mr. Torres with his poultry farm in Chapman, we didn't have issues with like eggs. You cannot even get from Saipan. It looks like it came from California.
And it's fresh.
You added, right? That helps the economy because we're not importing it, and then it helps the people because the price is low.
So I'm glad maybe how your office can, reach out to the agencies and maybe impart some kind of message about, having all the agencies work in sync, because here one part of the agriculture industry is promoting the production. The other side is adding more cost. So
It's like when I was in the house, I voted no against increasing the tax on beverages and alcohol.
what about the bukas still being charged? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it passed. It was an initiative. I need to check. But in reality, I support taxing.
I think it did.
Get this. I support taxing imported wine.
Yes, import. So you can buy local.
So not only local, so more farm people can start growing. I know CHC is not going to be happy, but I'm just saying it's still happening. So might as well have.
And I'm glad, first of all, give this, the people,
$5
they're watching you, they're posting, and so far, based on what I'm hearing, very positive. Okay, so keep it up. You have a good head over your shoulder, and look at the end result, helping the community, helping the industry in a way that can be, increase our economy here, because we are too dependent on the federal government. As a matter of fact, this is the right time to invest in the best in the industry, because we don't know what happens in 2, 3 more years from now. very unpredictable. You know, he's our president. We support the, the president of the United States, but on some issues that makes us, we don't support those things.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, but we also have to look at, like what was mentioned, Governor Velasco mentioned this in one of the proclamation signings. We need to focus on what we can control.
yes.
There's a lot of other factors that's on a national level, but sometimes it benefits us. Like the tariff situation that President Trump imposed. That's why these investors are here. The same reason why we had the garment industry back then is because of the tariffs. But we also have to be smart this time. We have to be smart in terms of making sure that we're very competitive and under the because as soon as we start beating California,
You're gonna look at us.
that's a threat.
Yeah.
So that's why we're starting manufacturing company that's on island right now. I'm glad that they're California.
And we're gonna be seeing more, even the extent of the what do you call this? The Google
Data
data
centers.
center
So
being built here.
what also needs to change is our education system. I'm happy that there's a lot of schools that are doing the work and doing a great job, the teachers, but at the same time, they have to follow the Constitution. And the Constitution says that our education system needs to be relevant to the needs of the community. And one of that is the economy. Right? So we have to be having programs that are gonna help us being self-sustaining. For example, like if we're not teaching our people that you can actually make being a farmer, if you're not showing them production, agriculture, or any other fishing and associated resources, so we're not teaching them programming. Because we have limited natural resources here, but what we have a lot of is people. So we train our people in skills that can be used like worldwide, like programmers. If the data center here, if there's a manufacturer, you need those.
Okay, with regards to the number of local people, a limited number. That's why we continue to need labor. We will continue to require that additional help.
So
But in terms of opportunities, there's opportunities now for local to get into that. Now on what do you call this? The marine industry is something that so much resources outside and the waters. We just need to work together with I don't know, your office, your members, your colleagues in the upper house to work together with you now and because
we have been working here. In fact, I have met with Delegate Kim specifically for manufacturing.
yeah,
And conversation we had early on, 3 months in your terms. Congresswoman, you're out there in the mainland. Given all this tariff situation, you have the resources to reach out to all those U.S. manufacturers that are affected by the tariff because their suppliers are in their raw materials are in Asia. And so she was already also in her plan. So at the end of the day, we're looking towards everything, how we can improve as much as possible. And now's the time.
yeah, the time to invest in instead of consumption, because everything that we do is basically consumption. The money that we consume it, we're not turning it around to invest in the in the assets.
But also, we need to get back to teaching our people how to be the sellers. Because all this, the years of all these entitlement programs, I'm not saying stamp or Medicaid is bad or whatever. We use it when we need it, but we shouldn't like think that that's gonna be it forever. You know, lucky. I feel blessed that I grew up in a time where we had a lot of our own people were business. They own businesses.
Yeah, but now,
Generation now, they don't know that they can be a business.
there's only two here. There is maybe a couple more that is owned by everything else. Is,
So
but you know,
Not
not to say that
it's not bad. Even an economist, you know, that came and visited Saipan, and we were talking about covenant and farms. And this economist said to me, if the covenant is so good, why do a lot of foreigners control your economy? And it's a good question. You know, why? Because we let that happen. You know, rather than incentivizing our people, there's a lot of, you know, like we're not providing the adequate programs and support systems and awareness.
yeah,
Like how they say, out of sight, out of mind. If you survey seniors in the cinema today, what do you want to be when you grow up? They're gonna say policeman, fireman, teacher, only the things that they see. But
right.
increase awareness and have them look, like see like the power plant or visit with farmers and see how they're producing, showing them opportunities.
Yeah.
Then we'll change. But earlier, I like what you mentioned about the housing. I mean, how it's expensive. Actually, it's like around 200,000 for a fully concrete one bedroom, and that's why I introduced the inmate salary bill.
Okay.
It was also very controversial in the House. Not so much when I reintroduced it in the Senate. But the whole concept of that is right now the DOC outreach program is very successful, and they do a really good job. Like you saw that stage that they built, and at the same time renovating the public auditor's office, the Manongki Center. A lot of times the inmates are doing a better job than some contractors. But what's one federal provision that we can utilize is the fact that you're not entitled to minimum wage. You can pay less than minimum wage if they're incarcerated, and at the same time you feed 3 birds with one stone. What does that mean? You feed 3 birds with one stone. Meaning, one, they're getting training that they need. 2, the money that they earn is also helping with the expenses that inside prison or restitution to the victims. 4,
The labor.
the labor, right?
Yeah.
You can help reduce the cost of construction. Let's say, like GPPC when you go to Beach Road.
It doesn't fall into the neighborhood of abuse or labor. No, it doesn't.
You still have all of those. The goal is not like slave labor or whatever. It's rehabilitation, and that's the job of Christians. That's
Okay.
our constitution. There's a reason why there's not, and this is like Judge Camacho actually reminded us of this. The framers of the constitution, they put in no death penalty. Why? Because they believe in rehabilitation and protection.
Second chance. Okay.
Not chances, but chance.
So you have only one chance. Yeah. Okay, that's it. And so any other coming along with the Senate side that is breathtaking kind of legislation?
There's a few that actually passed. I know Senator Donald. His bill passed, which is it's a cottage kitchen bill. So which is again good for our people to get into entrepreneurship. If you have a kitchen at your, let's say even your farm,
It's already.
I think it's gonna be. I don't know if it's signed, but I think it passed the Senate. It should be at the House already. But
So
this allows
okay.
so people like, let's say you have a farm, you want to open up a small kitchen. People come to your farm and eat fresh. You know the requirements are gonna be a little bit, not like to the commercial level, but it's gonna be precise. Yeah.
Okay, molecular the right size, you're right sizing the enabling laws or whatever constitution to right fit. Also, I add that in right fit the community with the laws that manages the community. So with that, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in it. So I'm going to open the phone line for our people to chime in. If you want to chime in, pleasure. Available now on Marianas Agupa 67027-4536. Take your call. The landline is out for today. We're still trying to get them raised, but Pagzuno get into the concentrator. If you want to ask him a question about the legislative initiative that's going to reduce the number of senators from each senatorial district, is the time to call. Or whenever he gets into the, it's going to be like a community public hearing.
Yeah, so just a way by design, in most of our committees in the Senate, it's brought to each island.
Okay. Yeah. So you could public hearings, each village or just one time for something like that, one time in Tinian.
So I may do some out of my office, but for the most part, if it gets referred to, let's say, a committee, the chairman of that committee.
This one doesn't need to be, it needs to be certified by the Attorney General. No?
We have to vote on it.
We have to vote on it and then by the
I don't believe it.
yeah, and then most
The popular initiative, that's the one that
already
gets certified.
Okay.
It'll still go to the AG's office.
Okay, and then it goes to the board election. Then they will do the public education.
I don't know when, it's probably not going to be this election if it passes, or probably be the next one. But I need to clarify to find out.
Okay, that's the question is Senator Castro.
Itu ko question ng comment budget usually for the public system, no? Lagi mandate is 25%. Then also in the constitution of mandate retirees, kung di man po give matkat revenue or the revenue for generate, no? Además, no se me coloca a cubrirnos en la constitución de Mandela, aquí municipal y constitución de Mandela, y Marianas Agupa Cross, sa muli estilo, rones siya en escuela, sa programanya, gaya mandate na pero pag susurota. Kasi sila na empleo din kaya generate from public i-legal elements. Kasi no siya nagkasilasagan sa imunisip Mensahe mo, kay constitution mo, okay, sinedin ni po, constitution eh. So, manapin ang funding ni para wasiti ni sa eskwela ni curriculum ni banda indigenous customs no or sila and legal assisting in system niya constitution mandate ni 25%. So, federal na programa para ofan na nasunod o manaparo o na-reduce niya bakit. Pero, kasi sila ganito na kultura niya, matutun na inanok siya na i-MPOT o inilin ni para uwa kami rin sa eskwela Diba?
Okay, so
Senator, mo response?
the Magoid is the retirement fund. I don't believe it's in the constitution. It's a settlement. It's a court. It's in the court. Yeah.
Agreement.
But I know that there's legislation also right now in the Senate.
It's not the petition the bill from right. So go ahead.
But yes, we're looking into also some of that. Like I said earlier about the assets, with MLT and the board members, like what they're investing in. And this is not a new concept. I think even Senator Jude, he mentioned that when we had the money, he submitted a proposal for the Sinamay government to buy the hotel in Hawaii where all our referral patients were at because they were selling. But that money was, at that time maybe it was a minority, didn't have the investment. So MPLT at the same time, yes, we do need to look into that because the way it's language, I don't think it's appropriate. Where it's gonna go back to the legislature to, when they make money, it's back to the legislature to issue out. But it's kind of on the line of what is it should be, because when you bring it to the legislature, it's not just NMD we represent; it's the whole community.
I think again it opens the doors box.
Yeah, but that's so it might be, and I don't want things to be.
So maybe the color is on the right track. Getting the forward, he's on the right track. I think the bottom line is only no comment. It benefit the northern Marianas. The bottom line. There's a lot of ways to see that.
Yeah.
One way, and we've been saying this on the program, maybe change instead of Marianas Trust, Marianas Northern Marianas Trust. So languages can do lots of things. So the DPL, Department of Public Land, Department of Energy Land, is original. It's Northern Marianas Land. Minor changes. Po inalaw as the AG is only for the enemy. No, because it's public land. It belongs to the whole community. So we need to look at that. Direction is right. We have to look. Any question, please? We have the lines open for our senator. Line that we can take. 670-287-4536. Limited time with the senator is introducing revolutionary legislative proposal, amendment, initiative can change the makeup or upper house and lower house legislature. So he's going to be going out to the villages. Again, simply do a public hearings. If you like to ask questions during those times, then fine. You want to answer your question now. The phone line is open. 670-277-4536. The options are while we're waiting. Introducing si President Dennis, we do another brief action. Article 11 for the public land. And that's for on Voda, no? That's for that's constitutional issue. Though I think it's opening to an opportunity for people to come in during those public hearings to make some recommendation. The bottom line benefits the northern Marianas. Yeah. So those are issues that people are waiting at the time. Our economy is hurting in the villages, and we see it.
And that's at the same time with in the PUTC, right? I'm a member of the Senate PUTC, which Senator Ju is the chairman. I have discussions with him as well. It's faster sometimes just to go direct to the people. Meaning when it comes to power. And there's other jurisdictions that have been doing this. So like, for example, Lehab, the funding goes to CUC, right? Energy Office, there's also funding. There's CDA, they gave money to CUC way back. But about, because those things take years. But if we give rebates to the people direct, especially the most manongpo, maybe single parent household, the ones that need like a rebate to get rooftop solar so they can their power is faster than to have a big farm. And it's also better. Different houses. It seems really hard, but it's so easy. The technology is there. It's just about the coding. But there's going to be something out of that community soon. And that's our way. Again, you hear me a lot in the Senate talking about decentralization. Right? That goes from power.
Two different discussion or topic that is I think maybe the zero in because it's expensive to operate and we have three different islands.
Yeah.
Three different islands. Three in three different islands. If you put them together, you're bigger than the island of Guam. So that's why it's very expensive to operate. Now, we talk about decentralization. In terms of funding, I cannot see water generating to operate their own power plant unless we have that solar power,
solar PV.
And that can be done, maybe it can be solar operate in like
and this is why
decentralization is done even in the hospital. But with the population is what do you call this? Which need every year because our people are waiting to find their pastures.
Rodent it makes sense because the demand is way less, and you can get the project done faster, like 6 months, 7 months. It makes sense. Like honestly, like for rodent to be having either rooftop solar or a small solar plant on the island. Right now, Saipan consumers are subsidizing local opinion. But if we just take that money up front and invest and make rodent tenants sufficient,
Well, I don't want to put this pressure on schools, because we've seen in this last week's report that they were given so many millions. And this was a testimony by the U.S. General on it for some million, and they still need more money. How many we've seen the government investing, and we still short in terms of operation. We are CUC is so bloated. I mean, this is the reason, bloated, top heavy. Okay? And obviously, no, the sa limongan, siya balance, because because we need heavy, too many, maybe unnecessary expenses. The billions of people, yet we cannot be involved, right? And that's the first issue. I think that's the first, research. And after those, staying green, we can even. Now, going back to its own legislative initiative, I think you brought in the tax rebates earlier. Tax rebates. One of the things that maybe I don't know how you can read it out or evaluate the validity of the savings earlier state, giving a 5 million that reduction in representation. Can that as a stimulus, so that people can get the brighter side? So that cost, the savings that can be addressed to stimulate the economy.
so I'm not really a fan of stimulus. Yes, I like to get a stimulus also, just like everyone else.
Do a exemption.
But the one I was saying is earlier, I would rather be in support of things that like building assets that reduce our expense, because we can all those years about stimulus. And what did that in the US government? What did that do to the US economy is inflation. Because later on, what's gonna happen? Give us stimulus, we're gonna end up paying it back the next years after. What you build,
Okay, let me get this and then I can explain more about that. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yes, Senator, quick question is Zomu or Zomu legislation. Primarily po na-address STE Zomu numbers by population. So, in population, so you gotta have equal representation, right? The otro is the voters, kung based on the population or kung based on the numbers of voters. Then yung formula na parang finalize yung number. So, that links to the constitution for equal representation. The otro, like sa cost of capacity legislation sa pula pa ako mangguguan. So maribaw yung numero I recommend that you should do a popular initiative, more or less of a argument on the floor. Sa itaw-tungan naman ready. So, kung pa-follow up social media, sa pula man malago po for ma-reduce. Il-address lo hindi
so that's executive action na house sempre election na. So that's no more. It's gonna be everybody.
Okay.
So Rhoda will be more, you know, it's just like Delegate Hines or Kilili, right? Every election.
Okay.
But we still have the balance in the Senate of the senatorial district. So basically, it's a smaller district will still have kind of like say when it comes to in the Senate because it's still the same way.
Okay, going back to the discussion about the stimulus, Kalanilig mo, no, you're not really in support of
A stimulus or like a grant.
Okay, and the reason why I mentioned that because it's been moved in other jurisdictions states. As a matter of fact, the federal government did that. And the reason behind it, the strongest is that it's a multiplier effect. So the multiplier effect would make sure even the dollar will make $2. So if money, 5 million is in division to the residents, you can make another peso. If you make it $10,000, you don't get anything. If you only, if you're already 25, right? So what I'm saying is that stimulus, we see it works because if I would, if people would defend the stimulus, I can see about still, sino lo que sa ito yung may gato sa area gusto nyo ng poker na no, the thing about it is the stimulus in general terms the people who receive it they patronize the stores based on their employees based on their tax, so it generates so again that's still something that has to look into get the initiative first, later on, throwing that out so that maybe can be weighted when that time comes.
At the same time, I'm not saying if we have a big surplus, then I think we have really big problems like right now, whether it's drugs, gambling addiction, like energy, water, like there's so rather like the strategy I'm kind of like focused on is trying to hit the one that's really gonna have the most impact. And again, it's not only me. I need to convince all the other members to follow the money. Like I just we have funds. Yes, it's limited cash flow. We have to ask ourselves, why is the cash flow limited? What process is getting in the way? And so we fix those policies. There's too much babarias in our policies. You have a fish mart that's selling small like that, a fish mart or a trader selling fish in their business license under Suzuki. But the mobile fish, they cannot do in America because the business license is per location, right? So
Yeah, I see.
if you're trying to make so much money on the market, you're making money on the PGR. It just doesn't make sense.
So somehow, everybody is every man to himself. Kada agency hindi ko marunong po kasi publiko na. May parang sa the central government or government is in trouble generating, giving out priorities. And at the end of the day, when hindi mo ito i-go na budget, sila kung malating, so they're finding ways to generate.
So even on the big legislative initiative, we'll see. Like my primary goal is to reduce the number of legislators. It might not be 7; it might be a little bit higher. Like I need to figure out a way that's gonna make this pass, right? To compete with other members, right? But I kind of lost my train of thought there. There was something that I was going to mention about. Sorry, I lost it.
Okay. But anyway, so you're doing cassette, you have your head on your shoulder, you're on the right track. Minor, you're hitting it right. People are responding to the issues that you're bringing up, and it's relevant. It's the issue of today, okay? Not yesterday. Today, you're looking at the issues that can, what do you call this, make sense to the taxpayer. Because the taxpayer, at the end of the day, we're paying taxes. Our elected officials, elected they have to use the money that we pay. We have to see what it is, our tax dollars being spent properly. They're responding to them. And I think because we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Continue that report. We need last word.
Yes.
2 minutes left.
I was saying earlier is on the first title of the bill, it talked about giving power to the municipal council to enact laws. I don't know if I'm gonna put that language in this draft because it might be in the way of accomplishing the main mission, but maybe that might be another bill. Because in reality, we're underutilizing, especially on Saipan, we're underutilizing the municipal council. And some of these laws are supposed to be by the municipal council. Like even our sanitation, that's a county, that's a municipal thing, that's not a state. Right? So when you bring those laws down to that level, there's things that can, by design, I'm even in a law that requires PSS to mandate a course where the students are reading the covenant and the constitution. Because even how to put it, even our government didn't know, just like zoning, for example, who's the landlord, the enemy? Since when is the government gonna tell you what you can do on your property? What kind of fence you can build? What kind of furniture you can buy? What kind of sign you can have? If you're following the main law, it's not the government is the landlord. Speaking
of the zoning, I think the original, when they first set it out, was a good intent, but they have to have some kind of basis to place in, so that when we reach this point, we execute this provision in the zoning law. But makes sense of the policies that we're implementing. It doesn't work in this community yet. But we didn't know until we reach certain thresholds that it would allow people to grow in policy. Yeah. Anyway, any last for committee or this conference? What's your vision for?
I just want to thank the community for allowing me to be in this seat. It is a challenge to be in this seat, based on where I came from. I have to move around a lot of things, but I'm not in this to my main focus is to just get the job done. It's and look at the root problems as much as possible.
And responding to people have seen that. So continue in that movement and forward. I think you're doing things. This is something that's discussed many times, but being lean, because the government's a little bit chubby, maybe it's not the right word, so
maybe fat, too many things. So at the end of the day, we lean because the revenue sources that we have is reduced, reducing from the federal government. Yeah. So thank you again, the Senator, Castro, the legislative 25-2 legislative initiative. This thing can change the time they have public hearing, but they're gonna definitely want, right, to provide the public hearing. If we see any resistance, we'll find somebody in this population. And just to let you know, Marianas Agupa is stand ready to get that message out to the native people, or people who speak the vernacular in our islands, those who are abroad, listening abroad, Carlos in many Castro, hoping he has all the energy, he got some brass balls to do these things. At the time when this is the type of representation that we need here on the beautiful island in the Commonwealth. Thank you again, Senator, for that. Alright. Start po sa lahat ng people sa Buso. I-promota, karoon na rin sa mga open houses dito. Si Gideon Escuela, dating Islam Moham, Adios, Tusmasi, putulog yung pitin po rin, naman ito si Senator Danny Castro. Alright, thank you, Senator. Yes, na lang ako. We need to see ang may hazot ito. Mapupuni sa legislative ministry. Yeah, matulay ka siya. Popular initiative, nasa yung mga hindi ko publiko. Ibig mapupuni ito. Sen mas kalau masih uang management nagway sa komunidad mapas para tulong sa mga Diyos. Uway sa hamso. Esta osos na masih kali.